Verbally Effective with Ina Esco is an interview-style podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, and entertainment with a Memphis focus. Each week, I'm joined by a featured guest with roots in Memphis. Verbally Effective delves into each guest's personal journey to uncover the incredible stories fueling their purpose, the highs and lows of their pursuits, and how through their passion, they are moving the culture forward. Be sure to follow Verbally Effective and Ina Esco on Instagram. Also, download the Verbally Effective podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. Don't forget to check out the website and submit to be a guest at verballyeffective.com. Greetings, and welcome to another edition of the Verbally Effective Podcast. I am your host, your double E, Ina Esco. You know, this podcast intersects art, culture, politics, entertainment with a Memphis focus. You know, there is no shortage of amazing Memphians that are doing amazing things in the community of Memphis. So I'll definitely have them on the show. Before we get started, I want to send a huge shout out to the Consortium MMT, the Talent Development Center. A big shout out to Morel, to Ari, Patrick, Brandon. And I also want to send my condolences out to my former colleague over there at iHeartRadio, Mr. Bobby OJ, who passed away very recently. I just want to send my prayers and condolences to his family before we get started. Now, let's get right into it. I have a beautiful young lady with me who is blazing trails in the interior design industry. And when I say the industry, not only Memphis, but internationally, I am talking about the lead designer, the producer, and also the founder of Bri & Co. I'm talking about Bri Saulsberry. How are you, gorgeous?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the podcast. You know, what blew me away was that mansion party that you curated not too long ago. Yes. I was like, wow, like is this in Memphis? Is this nearby? And everything was so beautiful. The flowers, the decor. I was like, wow. And I saw that you put that together. Yes. And I was like, I got to get her on the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Wow. And I know this is your first podcast.
It is.
So I'm ready for you to tell us all about you, Bri. Where are you originally from?
I am originally from East Memphis.
Okay.
I graduated from Germantown High School, but I am originally from East Memphis.
Okay, so tell me about growing up in East Memphis.
Oh, I mean, it was great. I come from a small but just very close-knit family. And so when I say small as far as intimate, we have a lot of extended family. My grandma is like that grandma where she's everybody's grandma.
Okay.
And so I come from just a very close-knit family who really enjoyed just spending quality time, hosting things. And so there was always something going on at the house. We were always cooking and entertaining people. Which is in part, I'm sure, where all of that came from and where I am today. But yeah, so growing up, it was really, really fun. I was able to just be a kid and do me.
You.
Absolutely.
No pressure, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you was over there at Germantown High School. I don't get a lot of what do y'all call
the Red Devils?
The Red Devils.
Yes.
I always like to say Germanites for some reason.
Really?
Not
Germanites.
The Red Devils,
The Red Devils.
Okay,
yes.
So tell me, what were you involved in over there with them Red Devils, girl?
So in high school, more so, I used to dance, like elementary, middle school. In high school, I focused a lot on academics, and so I was heavily involved with my academics. I also did do, like, some journalism things there as well, because they had a really, really great journalism program there. And so I kind of did some things in that department as well, but mainly it was focused on just my academics in high school.
Were you like an honors student?
Absolutely. I was in honors, and I did dual enrollment and all of that kind of stuff. So I was taking college courses in high school as well. So I was able to go over to college with college credits already. So
cool beans. You know, I have a son right now. He's about to be a senior, and he already has college credits. So I think that's an absolutely great thing.
It is.
Preparing him, honey. It's a journey. Look, we can go 15 minutes on that, but I'm not going to get on you, Dallas. I'm not going to get on you, Dallas. So, Bri, let's talk about college or college matriculation.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Yeah,
and
so
what
I
did
went
you major
to
in?
the University of Tennessee-Knoxville. I graduated with a communications degree in public relations.
Why did you choose that?
So the crazy thing is, originally I did not choose public relations. I actually went in wanting to do nursing, and I think that was just, nursing is just like a guaranteed field, you know. I always have been pretty decent in, you know, like anatomy and biology and the sciences. And so I'm like, okay, well, nursing, I think I can, I can do nursing. And then once I got into it and really just started to really kind of understand who I am and what I really desired, and just what I was more so passionate about. I've always been a person that's passionate about words. And so like strategic comms and branding and marketing and those kinds of things excited me. And so one of my best friends was like, have you thought about PR? And I'm like, no. He was like, look into PR. I can totally see you doing that. Like, you have the vibe, the look, the intellect. Like, you're really good at building relationships. I really feel like that would be something you'd be great at. And so I looked into it. I'm like, this screams Bri Saulsberry.
Okay. When you know, you know.
Exactly. I'm like, yes, this is my thing here. And so I switched my major. At that point, I think I was maybe going into my junior year. But I knew, I'm like, yeah, nursing's really not for me. And when I thought about it, I'm like, I'm such an empath. I really don't like blood, just all of those kinds of things. So it was only right. And so I switched, and it was amazing. I got the opportunity to study abroad in Italy. Oh, my God. It was such an incredible experience, their culture, just the beauty and the art and the luxury, all of those things that Europe and just Italy embodies in general. It was just such a beautiful experience. And it opens your mind when you travel abroad and you're in the U.S. and you're in your city and, you're just kind of confined to those things. When you go out, it just broadens everything and just lets you know there's a bigger world out here than your little box. And so it was just such a great experience. I also was able to travel to New York and go to some of the top ad PR agencies and get industry insight there. And so it was just a really, really great program that was really resourceful and just allowed us to explore those kinds of opportunities that I think also just aided in me being exposed to luxury and being exposed to certain experiences that in turn, I'm like, I want to bring this back to like my people.
Yes.
I want us to
Indeed.
be able to experience this outside of having to go out of the country or, go to other places. I want to bring this culture and these different things back to the city. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So when you graduated from UT, what was next for Bri?
So I graduated, and then I had my beautiful baby girl.
Okay.
Shout out to my baby, Gianni Styles.
Gianni, that's pretty.
Yeah, so I had her, and so I took some time off to really just immerse myself in motherhood and just bond with her. So we had that beautiful time together. And then after that, I went into education, which was completely unexpected.
How did that happen, Bri?
I know. So someone reached out to me and was like, you need to apply for this position. We think this will be great for you. This will be a leg in. And, you can just kind of move, in the district to maybe a more befitting position that fits your background. But let's get in the door. So this is a position that I think that will be great for you, a leg in. And so I applied, and it was great. When I originally entered into the district, I worked under the deputy superintendent and assistant superintendent of schools. And so it was just really a great job. I had bosses, just real girl bosses that really empowered my voice, that really allowed me to come in and really gain the confidence that I needed to really be a professional. And so I didn't really have a background in education, but because I had that leadership that was just very open, like I said, to empowering young minds, I was able to project lead the very first grading protocols that were approved and set forth by the district.
Oh, wow.
So was something that had never been done before. In just, I think, 4 or 5 months of me being there, bam, I was able to come in and do that. Really, and like I said, I really accredit my leadership a lot because they came in and was like, listen, and they would always say this, it's so funny, we finna baptize you by fire. You know, they recognize the potential. Yes. They recognize my work ethic and my ability to, even if I didn't know, I was willing to do the work to figure it out. And anything that I do, I want to make sure that I put 100% into everything that I do because my name is on it, you know?
Okay.
And so even when I didn't know the information, I was willing to put in the work, and they really valued that. And like I said, they valued my my ideas and what I brought to them, and my fresh perspective too. Just being a millennial, right? And being fresh. Just some fresh ideas and really trying to understand our perspective and really be able to implement some of those things into the changes that they were wanting to see in the district. So really exciting time. And then I moved from that to, I was promoted, got the blessing from my bosses there, and was promoted to another department, making more money in the HR department. Okay. And so I was doing some recruiting, and I was in talent acquisition. And so there I was really able to make my footprint in that department as well. I became one of the top recruiters, right before I left. Like, I had been awarded like top recruiter on my team. Wow. And then I also built the virtual platform that we implemented once everything went virtual and COVID hit.
You built the platform.
Yep. Wow. I created the platform, implemented, and we were able to hire hundreds of teachers doing a global teacher shortage.
Big deal.
It was a big deal. And so I was really proud of myself around that. And then something interesting really happened.
Okay.
And we'll get into it. But yeah, it was a great experience overall. I wouldn't change a thing. And it was definitely a learning curve for me as well.
Yes. Yeah. And Bri, I heard you mention getting baptized by the fire. And often when we get baptized by the fire, that brings out the best in us.
Yeah. It's fight or flight, honey.
Really?
It's going to bring out the best or the worst. And
the worst.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And I can kind of parallel that to the pandemic, you know?
Absolutely.
You know, we're idle at the house. A lot of us were idle at the house. And, you know, a lot of time on your hands to think about what's important to me? What do I really want to do? So I'm sure you've had that experience, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. During the pandemic and just when everything shifted, it really gave us a lot of time, you know, like you just said, for everybody to just really figure out what was important, you know, during that time. And so we went, like I said, from being in person to virtual, and things just got a lot harder. It was different, which was fine. Like I said, I welcome the challenges and the hard work. And so, I was working 12, 14-hour days when things went virtual. Yeah, just building this unprecedented platform, something that had never been done before. But all while doing that, I'm thinking about, Bri, what do you really want, though?
Like, what
this
really
ain't
makes
it.
you... This ain't it.
You know, I enjoyed it. I did. But during that time, though, I was thinking, like, what really makes you happy? Like, are you truly fulfilled in doing this, you know? Even though you are, you know, acquiring success at what you're doing and you're excelling, does this fulfill you? And so that was a question that I really had to contend with during that time. But I still think me being me, and I'm type A. I am a perfectionist.
Okay.
And then I also don't believe in quitting, right? Or at least, you know, at the time. And so, anyway, I was kind of like forced, honestly, to make a decision to pivot and to pursue purpose. I don't know that I willingly went into purpose. I don't know that I willingly went into my passions.
You said you were forced.
Yeah, I lost my job.
Okay. See how we can excel in all of these amazing endeavors.
And that's my first time saying that a lot. I lost my job, you know, which was unexpected because I just named all of these great things.
You was like, wait a minute, what? It happened to me. Exactly. Like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all of these great things, and then bam, you know, I lose my job. And so during that time, initially, it was the initial onset of confusion and, like, why me? And, I really gave this my all and I was excelling or whatever. And so I really had to make the decision of, am I going to dwell in pity or am I going to pivot, right?
Right.
And so I made the decision to pivot. I gained some spiritual insight around that as well. I really feel like God was saying to me also, you've seen what you can do. And that's what really this was about. This was about you proving to yourself, right, and gaining the confidence that you need because you're equipped with everything that, that you're called to do. And so that same energy and effort, right, that you've put into, creating first without even having a background in education for the largest school district in Tennessee, I need you to take the same energy and effort and those hours that you're putting into building something else and put it into what I've called you to do, right?
Okay.
And that's easier said than done. I was like,
yes,
God, wait a minute.
Yes, it is.
Wait a minute. Okay,
yes.
that was insurance. That was a steady paycheck.
Okay, you
wait
got
a minute,
little girl,
right?
I
And so it was really hard to make that decision. But I did it. It was the biggest leap of faith to date, and I did it, and God has really been rewarding me ever since.
So, Bri, at that moment, that pivotal moment, did you know you wanted to start Bri and Company?
No.
So what was on your mind then? Like, what was God telling you to do?
So over time, like I had always done events and kind of hosted little things, but for family and friends. It was never anything that I thought I was going to monetize, right? And sometimes when you're gifted in a certain area, you don't even realize that there's value, right? That it could be very lucrative because it just comes so natural, right? And so that's kind of what it was. It was like, I hosted, I didn't think it was real money in event planning, and then a pandemic hit. Like, ain't nobody doing events, right? At least that's what I thought. And so it was really radical, right, to even decide that not only am I going to start a company that does event planning and interior design, but I'm going to launch this company during a global pandemic. That's crazy.
Yes, like a good crazy.
That's crazy, right? But that's what I was instructed to do. And in my obedience, oh my God, God just blew my mind.
So tell me about one of the first events you put together.
So one of the first events I put together, it was a 30th birthday party. She wanted kind of like a boho type theme. And one of the first ones that I put together actually was for one of my best friend's parents. So their 30th anniversary. And this was actually in Nashville. So I traveled to Nashville to do this. And so I went and it was an incredible experience. They were blown away by the transformation. I transformed their entire back patio area. They have a beautiful home, and their back patio area by their pool, we transformed that. I mean, literally, we dropped chandeliers from the ceiling. We put up drape. I mean, it was beautiful, and so they were really blown away. And that's when I realized, I'm like, Bri, like you
outdid yourself. You outdid yourself, honey.
And so much so that even her parents, they were like interested at that point in investing. Like, okay, where do you see BS & Co? Because we're, like I want to invest in this. And at the time that scared me because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just getting started. I don't even know how to go into the conversation of investing right now. I guess I'm still kind of trying to structure things, but that also kind of spoke to the fact that other people see real value in what I'm doing as well. Yeah. So I think that was just a reminder at that time, from God that you're going in the right direction. Not only do you see value in what you're doing, but others see value so much that they're willing to invest their money into what you're doing. And so that was a really, really great affirming moment for me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what, Bri? Sometimes when we begin the journey of entrepreneurship, we do our research, whatever industry it is, on what should we be pricing people and comparing it to other cities, other people that do the same thing. Was that something hard for you to, give those actual prices?
Yeah, I do think that's something. And I think as entrepreneurs, we do kind of struggle with charging our worth. Certainly sometimes as minority business owners, you just kind of have a hard time sometimes with really charging what you're worth. But I think one of the things that helped with that one of the first investments that I made after going into entrepreneurship was going into the vanity groups. What was it called? The vanity group. I don't know why. I just love the Event Academy was the name of it. Yes, hosted by Carlene Roy, and so
she's from Memphis.
Absolutely, she is. That's my mentor. She's the GOAT. But the name of that program was called the Event Academy, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was one of the first investments that I made, and it was an academy for event planners, whether you were new to the event industry or you were seasoned and just kind of wanted to take it to the next level. And so for me, even though I had started and I was doing well, I felt like I just wanted to continue to grow and to learn in any way that I can. So any way that I can gain more information and knowledge and insight of the industry that I was building my business around, I wanted to engage in. Following Carlene and just knowing her journey and how she's been able to reach the level of success that she's reached and host, celebrities and just be at the level that she's at. I'm like, I want to learn from her, right? And so in me enrolling in the Event Academy and going through that entire process, it really helped to affirm a lot of questions and things that I had. And so one of those things was pricing. Like, what do I need to be charging for this? And so she really helped very early to keep me from lowballing myself.
Okay.
So just kind of talking through what that looks like. It was a great experience. That was also her first time launching the Event Academy. So it was really like a divine thing, just the right thing at the right moment. And so I connected myself to that and just got some amazing tips. And one of them being like, what does charging around something like this need to look like?
Yes.
And so that was kind of how I was able to gain the confidence that, Bri, first of all, what you're charging is enough, but you really need to raise your raise your prices based on what you're really able to produce, right? And so, that's what
because you're dealing with luxury. You're dealing with bespoke events. Like, this costs money.
Absolutely. And I am very, very, anybody that's worked with me, they know I'm so particular about that. I'm very selective on who I connect my brand with, who I align my brand with, because I am serious when it comes to producing luxury experiences. And I think that we deserve that. I think our city deserves that. And so that's one of my missions, too. Like I said, I've been able to travel out of the country and just really go all over and experience lux, right? And I feel like Memphis deserves that as well. We don't have to just go to your LAs and your Miamis and your New Yorks and out of the country to experience luxury experiences. We have so much talent here. We have, such a unique experience in Memphis. And so I want to be able to bring true luxury to the city here as well, because we deserve that. And our people are waiting on that.
And you have definitely been doing that.
And they've proven that, right? They have proven that with the support. It let me know that they've been waiting on this.
Yes.
And I wanted to frame events that I felt like I didn't see, that I would like to have attended or been a part of. And so that's what I've decided to align my brand with doing.
What does a customer for Bri & Co. look like?
Well, what does a customer for Bri & Co. look like? And my customers are very diverse, right? Okay. But these are customers who have disposable income, who value luxury experiences, really. And so I don't know that there is a certain look, but just people who value the same things that we want to produce, which is a luxury experience.
Yes, and I'm glad that you're doing this because I know you mentioned that you saw the podcast with Carmion. And, one of the things that we talked about is the percentage of African Americans in Memphis who do this type of work and how you're accepted in this space, in this city. How has Memphis welcomed you?
Oh, man.
Since your journey began?
Oh, my God. It has been incredible. And sometimes our city gets a bad rap of like, oh, they're not going to support or, we're so divided. And that has not been my experience at all in launching my business in this city. Everybody's been so supportive. And not just with with their words, but by action. Anything that I've put out there for people to attend, they show up and they show out. I.e., this last Leisure Label event.
Oh, at the mansion.
Yeah, and that was a very intimate and private event. We hosted a small group of tastemakers and influencers in the city, but the way that they showed up and showed out, and the level of content that they produced around this event, we could not have paid for, right?
You're right.
They showed out, and I was so proud of my city.
They probably never seen anything like that in Memphis, because I hadn't.
Yeah, I had so many people to reach out, and I'm always blown away by the response and just the beautiful messages and DMs that I get. But I had so many people to reach out and just say, thank you so much for bringing something like this to the city. Like, I either attended this event and didn't feel like I was even in Memphis, or I seen this event and, it just made me feel like I was, in a LA or in a Miami. And that really, really felt great to hear, because that's the goal. That's the goal. I want people to enjoy experiences that are different, that are innovative, and that are also luxury. I mean, true luxury.
True luxury. How many clients do you have in the fold right now that you're working with?
Oh, wow. I don't even know. Like, literally, I just had to, and this was a big step for me, I just hired an assistant.
Look, yes.
And people are like, that's a big step. Yes, because I am so hands-on. Like, I want everything done a certain way. And I really had to get out the mindset that if it's not done by me, it can't be done in order to really scale and to take the company to where it needs to go. And so I have an amazing assistant who, she worked with me on several projects in the past. I would bring her on as an event assistant. But with the way things are going, I'm just like, listen, I can't do it all. I need somebody to come in and really manage my life.
And you eventually realize that, because you can't do it by yourself. You need a team.
I can't, and I'm big on customer experience and them having a quality experience as well. And so me by myself, I will drop the ball. I needed somebody that's going to come in and really be able to pick it up and allow me to focus on the bigger picture things and being a visionary and really being able to produce.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I look forward to coming to a BS & Co. event,
Absolutely.
honey.
You will get a personal invitation.
Look, a live podcast.
And I thought about that, but it was too late for the Leisure Label event. That would have been a great one, but no worries. We have some things coming up.
Look, I'll be there. I'll be there. Glam to the wham.
Absolutely.
Okay, Bri, repeat after me. Amen. Say man.
Amen. Say man.
This is a moment of transparency between me and you.
Okay.
If you could curate the most fabulous event that you have not seen yet, what would that look like, Bri? Amen. Say man.
The most fabulous event. To me,
something that's probably in your mind and no one has asked for it.
And that's such a complex question, because, I mean, my mind just goes everywhere when you say that. What I will say is I don't know that I can really speak right now of the most fabulous event that I would create, but one of my goals, right?
Come on, goals.
That I would love to create, and I was just talking to some friends about this, is this luxury social club.
I like it.
For us, by us, right? But I want to create this private, exclusive social club for minority entrepreneurs and business owners. Just a place where we can really come and let our hair down, and a place that's really designed for us. One of the things that I love to do when I'm creating, I love to go to just really nice restaurants or really nice places that really kind of generate a level of creativity and luxury, right? And so I like to kind of sit in those places and eat and have my tea or whatever as I'm working and creating. And so I would love to create a space that offers, like, luxe co-working spaces that maybe has some restaurants in it, that has a gym.
I see it.
Where they can come and do it. They can work, and then they can go and do yoga. I want something that's going to have a rooftop, a pool type situation. And so, but it's a social club, and it's also geared towards business people and creatives. It's like a safe haven, right? Where I can come and do all the things, right?
Have you seen that in another city and you want to duplicate it here?
So I don't know. Well, there are places like Soho House. Have you heard of Soho House? So places like that that I think are amazing. But again, something like that. But I want to create it for people like me. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that those spaces are not for people like us, but I want this space to feel like, you know what I'm talking about?
Feel you.
Feel like it's for us. When you walk in, oh, this is for us, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I wanted to also, like I said, give luxury. Through and through. Everything about it.
I feel
Everything
like this is
about
going to
it.
happen sooner than later.
Absolutely.
I know this is a goal for you, but you're a very determined young lady. You have a huge vision, and you deliver.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm just looking forward to more BS and Co events here in the city of Memphis and beyond because you're everywhere.
Yeah.
And you worked with, like, tons of celebrities. I was looking through your Instagram social media page, and you've worked with quite a few celebrities coming through the city.
I have.
Could you tell us about some of those?
Yeah, one of the ones that it was my very first celebrity event, and Carlene. That was a full circle moment for me because I did her event academy, and so I was in LA actually vacationing, and Carlene she reached out to me and she said, "Hey, I have an opportunity for you. Can you talk?" And so I'm looking at the phone like, Carlene just reached out to me and said she has an opportunity. So I'm like, absolutely, I can talk. And so I give her my number and she gives me a call, and she says, I have an opportunity. Rick Ross's sister is having a birthday party, and I would love for you to do this event. I can't do it. Rick Ross, they're looking for somebody to do it, and I would love for you to take this project on.
Boom.
This is maybe, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. The party is Monday. Right? So
pressure.
Right. I only have a couple of days. So I'm shaking in my boots and I'm like, Rick Ross, like, are you crazy? In my mind, I'm like, are you crazy? But shaking in my boots, I told her, absolutely, I could do it.
Was he demanding luxury?
Oh, I mean, the name Rick Ross demands luxury. He don't have to say a word, right?
Right.
And so I just knew I had to be on my A game for this. And so even though I had a couple of days, I was not even in the city. I was in LA. I came back, I think, that Thursday. Immediately when I got off the plane, I went to a walkthrough and began to design the space. So they had Privé picked out. And so I went to Privé and walked through and just literally at that moment began to design the space. And it turned out amazing.
Yes, it looked amazing.
Yeah. She was blown away, Carlene. I didn't even know at the time that she was coming. And so she came from New York to the event. Trina was there. Rick Ross was there. Of course, his beautiful sister was there because this is what the event was about. But it was just, it was incredible.
And a full circle moment for you.
A full circle moment.
She was proud of her grasshopper.
Listen. So, I mean, I felt like I was being hazed. Okay. But no, she was great. She was such a great support, and she was like, anything that you need, any way that I can support you, I will. And she did just that, and she came, like I said, and that just kind of began the mentorship and her just being a resource to me. She is absolutely amazing, and from there, she's continued to call me for things.
Boom.
Yeah.
And it's great to find a good mentor like
absolutely.
that, especially for women of our color. Oh. You know what I'm saying? For our culture, we need it. We need it.
Absolutely.
I'm still looking for a good mentor around here. But
and it happened organically, too, because, I desired a mentor, but I didn't even know where to start in getting a mentor, and so I did the work.
Doing the work, and it gravitates to you.
Exactly. I didn't know that, in making the decision to further my craft and enroll in the event academy, that would lend itself to her now paying attention to what I had going on. Yes. And it lend itself to saying, oh, I think she's ready for this kind of opportunity. Yes. And then from there, gaining a mentor. So,
wow. Yeah. Well, Bri Saulsberry, you are amazing, dear. I really enjoyed listening to your amazing journey. I think that this is just the beginning. You have so much more work to do.
Absolutely.
You've already done a lot, but, I mean, the expectations have been set high, and I know you will deliver. And I'm looking forward to coming to them bespoke events, honey. Let the verbally effective audience know how they can follow your journey and get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So I am available on Instagram. My business page is at Bri Saulsberry and Co. And my personal page is Briannica_Saulsberry. And so if you are interested or inquiring services, you can also email me. Once you go onto my Instagram page, it is a contact tab that you're able to go to that lends itself to my email, and you can email me your inquiry, and then from there, we normally send over like a discovery questionnaire, and then we begin the process of it. So,
amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bri, for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Welcome. Yes, you did.
My
awesome.
first podcast.
You did great. You did great. In Memphis, I know you guys want a little luxury in your life. Call my girl, Bri Saulsberry.
Absolutely.
So she can curate something beautiful for you all. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the podcast, Verbally Effective, on all streaming platforms and the Ina Esco YouTube channel. Episode 211 in the books. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.